Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Felicia if you're new here, and I'm going to be recreating this dress that Veekee James has on the channel today. You definitely want to stick around because this one is going to be interesting and very insightful. Okay, so let's get on with the video. This is my corset pattern. This is the back of the corset and this is the front bit. This is the side dart, which is the difference between my half length front and my half length back. That's the back waist. The back waist is for this person is 2 inches higher than her front waist, so the same 2 inches is what I use in taking this side dart. I'm going to be closing this off on the pattern like this, and then the waistline will align with the front and the back. Waistline is going to align once I close this up. These are my darts, the under bust darts, the upper bust darts. The yoke dart is still there as well. For this one I don't need to panel the front as much because I'm going to be using a corset mesh for the front. I could have still paneled it, but I don't want to do that because the draping is still going to cover all that, so there's really no need. So I just maintained this one that I have here, so I'm just going to have that joining here, and then I'm just going to run my boning lines for the rest bits. Then this is my back corset pattern, and I have 3 panels, which I also took that at each point, right? And then there's another dart I usually take. I don't know if you're a dressmaker, I don't know if you take this dart, but I usually take this dart for my back yoke. Let me remove this. There's a 1/2 inch dart I usually take away from the back yoke so that my mesh can, lay flat without having that excess. So whenever you have that excess at the back of your yoke, especially if you're not draping and you just use the pattern like this without removing that 1/2 inch, then you're going to have some excess at the back. So I remove this 1/2 inch from the back yoke, and then yeah, this is what we have. So once I've taken out that 1/2 inch, there would not be any excess on the yoke for the back. The front is usually okay. So for this style, the style also actually has like a high neck yoke. There's a skin mesh for the yoke on the top, but she doesn't want the skin mesh in front. She's just wary because she doesn't want a situation whereby the mesh is showing. So she wants us to just maintain just the V neckline. So that's what we have here for the yoke. So I'm going to close off this dart, and then close off this dart, trim out this middle darts, and my corset pattern is set. So this cup I'm going to cut out as well because the cups are going to be separate. So that's basically what we have for the pattern. So these are the materials I'll be using to work on this project, and this is the main fabric. It's a brocade organza, as you can see. So we'll be needing to back it with a satin fabric, but for this one I am using a bridal excellence. I call it excellence in the market shop, but the bridal satin, the really high quality one. It's not like your regular doll face satin. I don't know if you notice how silky and thick and nice this fabric is, but this is not your regular doll face satin. So that's what I'm going to be using for the backing of this. And then there's some plain parts as well, so I'm going to be using this as the plain parts on the dress. This is a soft mesh I'm going to be using for the drape in front, the one that goes all the way to the shoulder and then around the hip area. So I'm going to be using the skin mesh, soft mesh. And then this is my suit lining, as always, for a nice finish. So this is suit lining, and then I'm going to be using this corset mesh for the bodice. So this is a black corset mesh, and this is a skin colored corset mesh. I'm going to be using it for the second layer. So I don't want just one layer of this fabric, and because I don't want to make the black part too thick by doubling 2 layers of it, will end up losing its transparency. So I'm going to be using a skin colored mesh as my underlay for the black corset mesh. And then we have actually not using this This is for the children. I'm also making ball dresses, but that's aside. So I'm going to be using this crinoline mesh as my base for the peplum part and then the sleeve part as well. So on this corset mesh, crinoline mesh, this is a crinoline mesh. As you can see, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, so this is a crinoline mesh, and I'm going to be using this as my base. I actually got it in black so that I don't have to use the excellence fabric to line this. If I had this in white, then I'll definitely need to line this, and because the lower part is really bulky, I didn't want to make it any more bulkier than it should be. So I decided to get a black crinoline mesh, which I'll be sewing this black ridgeline bone. I also got this black ridgeline bone to give it the structure. So why I got this is because I don't want it to be showing underneath. If I was using a white ridgeline bone and a white corset mesh, then I would definitely need to underlay this for the first layer of the peplum. So this is going to be what I'm going to be sewing on, and then this is going to go. So I'm just going to have this piece with my lining, and this corset crinoline mesh that is going to be boned to give structure will be in between. So as you can see, this is ridgeline bone is under here and it's barely visible. In fact, it's not visible because it's all black. So that's the whole idea. Instead of having 4 different layers of fabric just for one of the flares, that will have made it really, really tough to work with, like trying to sew it in. So that's why I'm using the black crinoline mesh and the black ridgeline bone. Okay, I think that's about it for this one. I have every other thing sorted here. The only other thing that is I'm not showing you yet is the skin colored mesh that I'm going to be using for the back yoke, and the cup, and every other thing that we use for making corsets, which is the boning, the cups, the stay. So that's about it. It's about to start. I've shown you the pattern already, so I'm going to go on and get cutting. This is the crinoline mesh that I've already run the ridgeline bone on. As you can see, I had to do two lines because I couldn't get in fact, even get this black one first and foremost was a struggle, and I couldn't get the bigger one, so I had to like double this for it. So this is 1 for 1 layer, and then the second layer is for this one, which we've already also done the same thing, as you can see. So we just run the lines. Maybe I'm coming, please. Just run the lines on the crinoline mesh, and now I'm laminating it. So with hemming gum, I'm just going to stick this down to this piece and then have our lining. That way it won't be too bulky. So this is my front bodice panels. You can see that I have the 2 layers right here, the skin mesh and the skin colored mesh, corset mesh, and black. And I used hemming gum on the edges for this one because I didn't want to have that stains on this one. So for the transparent corset, I'm going to be sewing the seams on the front side so that I can use my casing to cover it up. So this is what I have here. As you can see, the inner part doesn't have the seam allowance going in, it's on the outside, and then the boning lines cover up the seams for a transparent corset. So this is our corset with the cups already in place. Also, the yoke of this dress has been sewn at the back, but I only pinned in the front because I'm going to be sub-stitching, like tacking it in front. For the back one, we inserted it in because there was really no need to tack it outside. And so the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to start putting on my drape. So for this drape part, I used 2.5 yards of mesh for this part, and I just held on to the middle part of it, and I created this knot. This knot here is what's going to go in the middle, so I'm just trying to arrange that knot to look neat in the middle, and I'm going to place it. I'm just going to place it at the middle of the bodice and secure with a pin, which I'm going to be tacking this later on. So next I started creating the pleats around the shoulders, the armhole area, and then down to the bodice. I started with this side, but eventually I just didn't like how it was looking, so I left it for a moment and went on to the other side and perfected the pleats. And I was like, okay, I was very okay with the the left hand side. Yeah, so I had to redo the other side, and this is what we have, how it's looking all good. So that was just before I cut out the excesses, and yeah, this is it. I had to hand sew the tool down to the fabric at this point because everything was meant to be on the outside, and then the beadwork was going to have to cover all the hand sewing that's going to go on shortly. Okay, so I don't place one side, meaning the second side I can't remember say I did do video. Let me hold it. So this is our second piece, which I have draped. I draped this to cut it out, by the way. Then I'm gonna use the iron. Okay, so this is what it looks like once I was done using the hemming gum to stick it down. And fast forward to this point, the dress is almost ready. At this point, we had finished the attaching the sleeves to the bodice, and also attaching the bottom peplum as well. I didn't bother filming that part because of time. So if you're interested in seeing more about how to cut peplums, I'm sure this is pretty straightforward, so I didn't bother doing that. But yeah, the next thing I went on to do was to create the drape on the skirt part of this dress. So from halfway of the bodice, also that's where the drape on the skirt part starting downwards. So I'd done a straight stitch, a gathered stitch rather, in the middle of this piece of net, and then I started pinning along the hip side, trying to recreate what we had on the style, and then also pushing up my gathers to create more fullness at the middle, and then create that V shape at the top and at the bottom of the drape. So this is what it looks like once I was done. And yeah, it was going to, next thing for me to do at this point was to hand tack it down and then go on to beading. Finally done with this dress. This is what it's looking like. Let me move this back a bit. Yes, so this is our dress from far away. Then this is what the back is looking like. This is a back view of the dress. See how well structured that end is. That bottom is looking the corset lace in this back. The style actually just has a zipper, but we decided to go, it's a corset, but it's all those inner hidden corsets, but we decided to go with the outer one so that she can control the tightness as against using a zipper. But I really love the beadwork as well. It's giving. My beader did that within, she spent a day doing this beadwork. But anyway, this is what the finished look of this dress is looking like. The beadwork around the lower belly and hip area is also giving. It is giving. Everything is all set. I really love the detail on the sleeves as well. Sorry I didn't film this because we're just trying to walk around it quicker because of the time frame we had to work on this dress. But I really love the sleeve. There was really nothing much to the sleeve. They're just regular circular flares. Then we also put the mesh on. We pleated the mesh on the upper layer, as you can see. So it's pleated both at the top and at the bottom. So that's just what went on there. So I didn't really feel to film it. But if you want to know how to do stuff like this, I guess for the basic beginners, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can just do a short showing how to cut out a circle flare, but I'm sure there's lots of videos on YouTube anyway for that. So this is our dress, and I'm going to be wrapping up this video. I hope you learned a thing or two. Let me know in the comment section if there are any questions you have regarding the making of this dress. I think I covered a lot. I'm sure if you don't have any idea of how to make this kind of corset, you probably learned one or two things, even though I didn't show you a lot because there's a whole lot of process going on this, and I have such limited time to show you everything. If I were to show you every single detail of making this dress, maybe this video would be a whole day long. Yes, so yeah, so that's about it. I will be wrapping up this video now. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any questions, as I said before, feel free to leave them in the comment section and I'll be happy to respond. Okay, bye.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue